Hi folks, and welcome to Impactful Life. My name is Rob, and this channel is dedicated to helping you make an impact so you can lead a full life. Today we're continuing our in-depth look at Dr. Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Now if you've been following along with the series, you know we've made it through the first 3 habits. In case you haven't been following along, we've numbered the videos in this series in case you want to go back and watch them in sequence. But that's totally up to you. Today we're moving on to habit 4, so sit tight, we'll be right back after this. Welcome back. Now let's make an impact. In his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Dr. Stephen Covey lays out a principle-centered approach to becoming more effective, both personally and in terms of dealing with other people. The first 3 habits, which we've already discussed, deal with what he calls private victory, or working on ourselves first. In case you haven't watched our videos, let me bring you up to speed. The first 3 habits are be proactive, begin with the end in mind, and put first things first. We also introduced the concept of an emotional bank account, which is a powerful metaphor that must be present if we are to effectively move from independence to interdependence, or working with others. Dr. Covey calls this public victory. According to Dr. Covey, we must develop these first 3 habits of self-discipline before we can ever hope to be effective in moving from private victory to public victory. You simply cannot be effective in dealing with others until you build a foundation of personal effectiveness first. Today we move on to habit 4, which is to think win-win. This is the first habit that focuses on public victory, which is dealing with other people. He points out that as soon as we begin to move from independence to interdependence in any capacity, we're stepping into a leadership role because we're in the position to influence other people in some way. And this holds true whether you're the CEO of a large corporation or the janitor. Once you start working with other people, you will constantly be faced with decisions that will ultimately determine how successful you're going to be. And the decisions you make and the habits you develop will largely impact your relationships. Sometimes the interactions are brief because you may never see that person again, but some are ongoing, like family and coworkers. Now, in order to be effective with other people, to enhance our relationships, and to truly seek interdependence, the focus must be on mutual benefit in every human reaction. Someone who constantly thinks win-win sees life as a cooperative adventure rather than a competition. It's based on the belief that there is plenty to go around, or what some other people refer to as an abundance mentality. Now, I'm sure you know people who have the opposite belief, which is a scarcity mentality. They believe that in order for them to get their way, someone else is not going to get what they want. Life is one big pie, and they don't care who they have to push out of the way to get their slice. Their success typically comes at the expense of someone else's success. And interacting with these types of people are generally not very enjoyable. These people see life as a competition, and they really don't care about other people or their relationship with them as long as they get their way. Win-win is not based on whether or not you get your way or I get my way. It's a paradigm in which both parties feel good about the outcome. Instead of the outcome being about your way versus my way, it's a better way. How can we both win? Now, when we talk about win-win scenarios, we're not just talking about high-level business negotiations here. I mean, they can be as basic as trying to get your child to finish their chores or asking your boss for a raise. Basically, anytime we need something from someone or they need something from us, we enter into a negotiation. And approaching it with a win-win mentality, according to Dr. Covey, is the most effective way to approach it. Now, as you probably already know, it's not the only approach, and there are situations where a win-win mentality doesn't work. In sports, for example, if my team's going to win, well, your team's going to have to lose. Sorry about that. Dr. Covey says there are actually 6 different paradigms of human interaction, and the situation will dictate which one of them is the most appropriate. Now, besides win-win, you might have a situation where win-lose makes sense. This is the interaction that says, if I win, you lose. I get my way, you don't get yours. Now, besides sports that I just mentioned, another arena where this type of paradigm is applied is law. Most times in a lawsuit, there's a winner and a loser. Most people who sue someone else are not interested in negotiation. They want to win the case. A win-lose paradigm is not based on cooperation or interdependence. Another alternative is the opposite of that, a lose-win paradigm. This is the notion of, I give up, you win. I mean, this way of thinking is common with people who like to keep the peace or don't stand up for themselves. I'll bet you know someone who's willing to give up what they truly want just to keep from rocking the boat. Win-lose people love to feed on lose-win people because they can push them around. But what about when two win-lose people get together? Well, when two stubborn, competitive, ego-driven people square off, the result is often lose-lose. Think about a nasty divorce, for an example. Nobody wins. Revenge or getting even becomes the focus, and these folks will do whatever it takes to make sure the other person loses, even if it means they lose too. Another option is to simply think win, without any consideration to the other people and whether or not they get what they want. I may not necessarily want you to lose, but that's on you. I don't see this as a competition at all. I just want to get my way. Win. Finally, we come to win-win or no deal. This way of thinking says that if we can't come up with a mutually beneficial decision, then we agree to move on with no decision. Dr. Covey calls this a higher level of win-win thinking, and is probably best applied up front in a business negotiation. Knowing that unless both parties can agree on a mutually beneficial solution, there will be no deal, well, that can take the pressure off of having to reach a decision. The reason all of these different outcomes are important is that in order to be truly effective with other people, we have to consider the long-term effects of our interactions with them. Anytime one side loses, it will impact future interactions, and over time it may damage your relationships. I mean, how much do you like dealing with a person who always has to get their way? As you go throughout this week, I want you to start paying attention to the interactions you have with other people and start looking for win-win alternatives. Whenever you're faced with reaching a decision with another person, think about how both parties can come away feeling good about the outcome. If you typically give in just to keep the peace, stand up for yourself and what you think is right. Don't be afraid to walk away with no deal if you can't reach a mutually beneficial decision. If you truly want to be effective with other people, you must develop the habit of thinking win-win. It is the key to true interdependence. And those who seek win-win outcomes will be much more likely to make a positive impact on the world and lead a full life. So that's it for today's video. Please leave your comments below and share with us your experiences in dealing with other people and what you think about this fourth habit. Are you someone who focuses on win-win? And if not, are you going to try and approach things differently from now on? How are you going to incorporate this habit into your life? Now, before you go, make sure you give us a thumbs up if you like this video, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you don't already follow this channel. Also, don't forget to follow us on social media, and if you'd like to make an impact on someone else, you can share this video to your social media accounts just by clicking the little share button below. Finally, be sure to visit our website where you can check out our blog and add your name to our email list so you don't miss out on information that we share with our readers to help them make an impact and lead a full life. All those links will be in the description below. I'll see you next time. Thanks again for watching, folks. Now go make an impact.